Hattie McDaniel's contribution to Hollywood cannot be overstated. She was a movie actress, comedian, stage actress, radio performer, and television star, but she was best known for her iconic portrayal of Mammy in the 1939 classic Gone with the Wind. Her talent and skill as an actress quickly propelled her to international fame, and she became an immensely important figure in the history of Hollywood. McDaniel's achievements were particularly noteworthy because of the time period in which she lived. As a black woman in the early 20th century, she faced numerous obstacles and challenges in pursuing her dreams. However, her talent and determination proved to be more powerful than any barrier in her way. McDaniel's many accomplishments included being the first black woman to sing on American radio and the first black performer to win an Academy Award. When she attended the Oscar ceremony, she made history once again by being the first African American to do so as a guest, not as a servant. Her presence at the ceremony marked a significant moment in the fight for racial equality in Hollywood. Throughout her prolific movie career, McDaniel was credited for her performance in 83 movies, but she appeared uncredited in many more. Her dedication to her craft and her unwavering commitment to breaking down barriers for black performers inspired countless others to follow in her footsteps. Hattie McDaniel's journey to becoming a legendary actress and performer began in Wichita, Kansas, where she was born on June 10, 1895. She was the youngest of 13 children and the daughter of former slaves. Her family eventually moved to Denver, Colorado, where Hattie attended school. However, Hattie's true passion lay in show business, and she abandoned her studies in her sophomore year to pursue a career in entertainment. She joined her family's minstrel group, which starred two of her brothers, Sam and Otis. Together, they toured the country, performing for audiences across the United States. In the years that followed, Hattie continued to hone her craft, eventually joining George Morrison's band, the Melody Hounds. The group was comprised of black performers and toured extensively throughout the country. It was during this time that Hattie began to make a name for herself as a talented radio singer, performing on station campgrounds of America and Denver. As her career continued to gain momentum, Hattie began to take on bit parts in movies. Though her early roles were small, she quickly proved herself to be a talented and versatile actress. Her hard work and dedication paid off, and she soon landed her next big opportunity. Hattie McDaniel's rise to fame in Hollywood began with her first credited role in the 1932 film The Golden West. Though her character was a maid, Hattie's talent and charisma shone through on screen, earning her critical acclaim. In 1933, Hattie landed her second film role in the highly successful I'm No Angel, alongside Mae West. In the film, Hattie played one of the black maids who worked with West backstage. Though most of Hattie's early film appearances were uncredited, her talent and hard work did not go unnoticed. In 1935, Hattie was offered a contract with Fox Film Corporation, a major milestone in her career. Her first film under contract was The Little Colonel, in which she appeared alongside Shirley Temple, Bill Bojangles Robinson, and Lionel Barrymore. Later that same year, Hattie showcased her comedic talents as Jean Harlow's maid and traveling companion in China Seas. Though the role was small, Hattie's performance was unforgettable. Hattie McDaniel's career continued to soar with her featured role as Queenie in Universal Pictures' version of Showboat in 1936. She starred alongside Irene Dunne and Paul Robeson and even performed a duet with Robeson titled I Still Suits Me. Following her success in Showboat, Hattie landed large roles in two more films. The first was Saratoga in 1937, which starred Jean Harlow and Clark Gable. The second was Shop-Worn Angel in 1938 with Margaret Sullivan. It was during this time that Hattie began to notice a trend in her maid characters. They were becoming less and less subservient and more assertive. This trend first showed in the 1934 film Judge Priest and became more pronounced in Alice Adams the following year. In Alice Adams, Hattie served dinner while keeping up a running commentary of observations and grumbles. This was a stark departure from the typical maid characters of the time. In The Mad Miss Manton, Hattie took her assertiveness to a new level by actually telling off her employer, Barbara Stanwyck. Hattie refused to be typecast as a subservient maid and used her talent and strength of character to push back against Hollywood's stereotypes. Hattie McDaniel's career reached its peak in 1939 when she landed the role of Mammy in Gone with the Wind, perhaps the most famous maid role of all time. As Mammy, she portrayed a character who was full of advice and help, and in many ways superior to most of the white people around her. It was said that Clark Gable, who had worked with Hattie several times before, supported her getting the role. For her performance as Mammy, Hattie won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, making her the first black person to win an Oscar. The honor was a monumental achievement, and she accepted the award with poignant gratitude. Unfortunately, the win did not lead to the widening of opportunities that it should have done, and Hattie continued to be offered relatively minor roles for the rest of her film career, which continued throughout the following decade. Hattie McDaniel's success in Hollywood continued through the early 1940s. She played Olivia de Havilland's devoted Southern maid, Callie, in the 1941 film They Died with Their Boots On. The following year, she appeared in This Our Life, starring Bette Davis, and once again played a maid. This time, however, her character directly confronts racial issues as her son is wrongly accused of manslaughter. Throughout the war years, Hattie continued to play domestic roles in films such as The Male Animal in 1942 and Thank You, Lucky Stars in 1943, where she starred alongside Humphrey Bogart and Bette Davis again. In 1944, she appeared in Since You Went Away, but this time she was less feisty and assertive than in previous roles. Hattie understood the limitations of being a black actress in Hollywood at that time, stating that her only choice was to play a servant or be one. However, she saw herself as working not only for herself, but also for future generations of African Americans. Despite the limitations of the roles she played, Hattie's characters often displayed sharp-tongued familiarity with their employers, giving them a unique style all their own. Her last film appearance were in Mickey, 1948, and Family Honeymoon and The Big Wheel in 1949. She then spent her final years successfully on radio and television as the lead role in the show Beulah, which was a big hit with audiences. During the run of these shows, Hattie was diagnosed with cancer. Sadly, she passed away on October 26, 1952. Her funeral was attended by 3,000 mourners, but racism followed her even after death. Hattie's last wish was to be buried in the Hollywood Cemetery on Santa Monica Boulevard with a white shroud, white gardenias in my hair and in my hands, and a pillow of red roses. However, the owners of the cemetery refused to allow her to be buried there because of her race. Hattie McDaniel's legacy lives on, even after her death. In 1999, her relatives placed a memorial cenotaph in her honor at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, which has since been renamed. The memorial serves as a tribute to the actress's contributions to the entertainment industry and her lasting impact on African American representation on screen. Rest in peace, Hattie McDaniel.